Eucalyptus trees, the great giants of my world, have often inspired my creativity. I love to sit at their feet, watch the birds, and daydream. And now that Christmas is just around the corner, I've been thinking about magic trees and the creatures that live in them. For further inspiration, I've been reading Eden Blyton's classic, The Magic Faraway Tree. And while exploring the faraway tree, an idea popped into my imagination. Why don't I make a magic Christmas tree with characters inspired by my favorite Christmas tales and poems? In my sketchbook, the first character appears. It is an owl. I am going to make the owl using cotton balls and other common craft materials, and I invite you to join me. Now, before we begin, I invite you to daydream and imagine what your owl looks like. Can you see your owl yet? Does it have painted clothes? Or are the owl's clothes made from fabric? Is your owl hanging from a tree, or is it freestanding? Making these choices at the very beginning will help you later while crafting the figure. And just one final note before we begin. My owl is part of a new series, and you'll find this series in a new playlist I've created called Christmas Miniatures and Characters. This includes previous videos I've made related to Christmas. So let's gather our craft supplies and begin. We will start by making the owl's armature using chenille sticks. First, bend the chenille stick into a C shape. Make one of the ends a longer hook than the other. This longer end will eventually become the owl's beak. Then twist around the shorter end a short length of chenille stick for the owl's legs. Then take a second chenille stick and bend one end into an elongated oval shape. Then wrap the middle section of the stick around the C shape and then create, on the other side of the stick, another oval shape. Trim the ends of the chenille sticks, removing some of the excess fluff. We will now make the core of the owl's body. Wrap several unraveled cotton balls around the middle section of the figure. To give the figure strength, wrap cotton thread around the body. Now add additional layers of cotton. Aim to make the body a rounded egg-like shape. To help hold down the fibers of the cotton, apply a PVA glue and water wash, and as you can see, I'm applying the wash with a paintbrush. Keep adding layers of cotton until you've achieved an owl's more stout or fuller body shape. As I'm going to dress my owl with felt, I'm going to make the body a little bit thinner than what I would if I was going to paint the clothes. I recommend that if you're going to paint the clothes of your owl, you add at least 1 or 2 more layers of cotton. And don't forget to sculpt the edges of the clothing while the cotton is wet. Following the same basic steps, build the core of the figure's head. If you're going to use plastic eye beads like I am, it is helpful to add them at this stage before you add additional layers of cotton. You can of course paint them right at the very end. Now spend some time defining the features of the owl. I'm starting first with the owl's face, adding layers of cotton around the eyes. To make the owl's head broader, I add additional layers to the top of the head and to its back. Now that the head is coming together, I'm going to work on other parts of the body. I will come back to the head later and further define features. I start by filling out the shoulders. Next, I make the wings. To make a wing, take a long length of cotton and wrap it around the chenille stick, and then secure the cotton by wrapping cotton thread around it. Then add additional layers of cotton, make sure that you have fully covered the chenille sticks. You're happy with your wings, add additional layers of cotton to the owl's back, belly, and chest. Now that the body is fuller, it is easy to see what areas of the head need to be further defined. Here I'm adding additional layers to the back of the head, and I'll also work on the eyebrow arches and the nose or beak. Once you're happy with the overall shape of the head, you can make the ears. To make an ear, take a short length of cotton, apply the wash to one end, and then sculpt the cotton into a small triangular shape. Attach the ear. To help secure the ear, you may need to add additional layers of cotton to the back of the owl's head and also its side. With a light touch, I feel whether the arches are the same shape, and where needed, I add additional layers of cotton. And when doing so, I'm adding just a wisp or two. While the cotton is still wet, you can sculpt lines. Here I'm sculpting an indentation where the head meets the shoulders, and also lines around the eyes. Once you're happy with the owl's overall shape, it's time to work on the feet. I've decided to make my owl freestanding, and I will make the legs and feet from clay. Clay will help the figure stand upright by adding a little bit of weight to its bottom. If you've decided to hang your owl, you can simply go ahead and wrap cotton around the chenille stick and sculpt the cotton into a claw-like shape. I cover the chenille sticks with Alfoil, and then I cover the Alfoil with conditioned clay. I'm using white polymer clay. You could also use air drying clay. For the bottom of the feet, I've rolled out and sculpted two rounded rectangular shapes. And then on either side of the chenille stick covered in alfoil, I add two little sausages of clay. I then position a third one to cover the alfoil and to form the central toe. I can join the pieces and sculpt some creases. Once the feet are made, you can add additional layers of cotton to fill out the thighs of the bird and also make a tail. And now my owl is ready to be baked. Cotton needs to be baked at a very low temperature. I baked my owl at 100 degrees Celsius. While baking, please keep an eye on your figure as cotton can burn. Once dry, paint your owl. I am painting the cotton with diluted acrylic paint. As I'm going to dress my owl with fabric, I leave the belly, the upper part of the wings, and the back of the owl unpainted. I paint the clay with undiluted acrylic paint. It is now time to become a mini tailor. As you can see on screen, I've made a vest using merino felt, grain and colour, and I decorated the front of the vest, sewing a piece of ribbon to the felt. You can sew the clothing together or simply use hot glue, which is what I am doing. And to the front of the vest, I sew a mini watch. In another video, I'll share how I made this. And as a finishing touch, I glue wisps of cotton to the owl's neck and belly. So there you go, Wonder Weavers, we've made a miniature Christmas owl. Thank you so much for watching, Wonder Weavers. Now I would really love to hear from you and find out what you're creating at the moment. And don't forget that you can connect with me on other platforms such as Substack. All of my details are in the description box below. Until the next time, Wonder Weavers, please take care, stay well, and don't forget to play. Adios. Ciao.